All right, we're back. Another season. Pro football show. Chevy Silverado. Chicago. Couldn't be more excited to be back.
Yeah, Will, how are you feeling?
Boys, girl, this season is going to be awesome. But who is this jabroni?
That's the mystery guest. Different host every single week.
I love that idea. Let's go!
Welcome to the Pro Football Show presented by the Chevy Silverado, Week 11 of the NFL season. We are joined again by Kyle Long. We're so happy to have you. You had a sleepover with Dan last night. I just want to start off with that.
Oh, we don't have to phrase it that way. I have a guest room. He slept in it.
Sleepover.
I needed a cot.
Over.
That's a sleepover.
I guess it is a sleepover.
Stay all night.
That's a good. It's a team.
My
It's a
son was
team
like,
thing.
how'd he get here? Because he was just standing downstairs, and I was like, this guy played for the Bears. And we went through the whole thing. I was like, tell him what we talk about. And he was like, even if the Bears lose, they win. And I was like,
Oh,
see,
that's
we
good.
tank in this house. We know how to tank. We know how to tank.
Did he instill some grit in him?
Hopefully, a little bit. Little grit.
I made him a paper airplane.
Made him a paper airplane.
Rough him up a little bit?
Don't rough it up.
Sweet.
He should have. He should have.
Make him feel comfortable.
Kyle is back, and I do owe, because now I said it was going to happen when Kyle and Will were back, the apology game, the Vikings Packers.
Yeah.
So I would like to apologize to both of you. I was wrong. You guys are right. I had no idea the Packers were as dog shit as they are. They are like a joke of a franchise now, a complete debacle, top to bottom. Jordan Love stinks. He's maybe the worst quarterback in the league, and I was wrong. I didn't know that. I did not know I didn't know how bad the Packers were.
It happens.
And they're that bad. They're that bad. So my only fault was not knowing that the Packers are maybe the worst team in the league.
I think we tried to say that they were bad.
They're the worst. And I apologize for not realizing that.
I thought they were the worst for a long time, but now we just know.
They're the worst. And
You're a man of accountability.
yes, so I apologize for that. Also, it sucks because I was hoping that the apology would fall on a week that I had a good record because I could be like, I apologize. At the end of the day, I'm better than you guys. I didn't have a good record. And I didn't even realize that I got Lucas taking shots at me. So he's making...
Oh, the video of Dan with all of his picks from last week where they did like all the graphics and made fun of all of his bad picks. Apparently Lucas did that.
Lucas.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Inside job.
Calls coming from within the house. Now, in Lucas's defense, I told Tom week one, I was like, listen, I know I've been doing this for a very long time. I have some right opinions. I have a lot of wrong opinions. When I'm wrong, it's funny because you get to see like the games play out and then me be like, yeah, the Ravens are going to kill the Browns, and then the Browns win. So I was like, if you ever want to just like post my bad picks, go ahead. Tom just had me fucking sleeping sound at night because it was 9 weeks where he didn't do it, and then week 10 he drops a fucking bomb on my head.
And not only that, but you've had some quality takes throughout the year that don't get shown.
It doesn't matter.
Listen,
You just got to go next play. It doesn't matter. People remember your losses and those play.
Next man up.
And
those you get interaction for being wrong.
And it was just all on the main account too. I was surprised. I was like, we haven't been doing this every
know,
single week, have we?
Yeah, I started getting
like-
tagged, like that flurry of like getting tagged, like Big Cat's a moron. What a
like-
fucking fat piece of shit. I'm like, wait, what's going on? And then I saw the tweet. And I was
Yeah.
like, damn it.
I
I
saw
am
it.
a moron.
I got the definition of
Was it a good
fame.
video?
Yeah.
What are your last
It was
video funny?
It was very funny.
Yeah, right.
Well, the reason that we even found out it was Lucas because we were sitting here talking about it before the show, and I was like, "Damn, that was crazy."
It was
And Tom
hurtful.
was like, "Well, it was Lucas's idea."
But he can do it again.
Do
But
you think it's a good idea to have for the show?
I think it's funny
Just
interaction.
for the whole panel, you know what I mean?
We make picks on every game. I'd love anyone to try to pick every game and
tough.
have like an incredible record. I get some wrong. I get some right. I get more wrong than I get right. As you can see by my record, it's funny. I'm cool with it. I like it.
You are also one of the few people in this country that's gotten rich off of being a loser.
Yes, correct. Jerry's now I
Well
did.
said.
Yes,
No, it's
that was
true.
very
He's
well
right.
said.
No, he's right. Dave and I are lifelong losers.
You
that
played for the
got to
Bears,
the
too?
top. Yeah, I got to the top. That's why
There.
tanking is so.
There you go.
That's why tanking is so easy
Even
to
when we
understand
lose.
for all my kids. They're like, hey, yeah, just lose, and at the end you win. That's what you do.
That's life.
That's life lessons.
It's life.
It was like my day yesterday. I'm here now.
Yeah, you stack enough losses, you end up winning.
You made it. And so speaking of records, Will, you had a fantastic week last week.
It's a good week, and I do think Big Cat called last weekend separation weekend as well because a lot of picks that were on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
No, it feels good. I was sitting at home Sunday watching these games unfold. I was like, man, maybe I am starting to figure this thing out.
Yeah. Those are the best weeks. You're like, I'm seeing everything.
You're seeing the board clearly.
Maybe I am the best.
In week 11. And Kyle, you told me that you were so excited to do the show you couldn't sleep last night. So
Yeah,
that's.
I mean, I just love football. So.
Well, also he was
love these guys.
in a guest room in a queen bed that like I don't know
comfortable.
how he fit in it, but yeah.
Very comfortable.
Okay, I felt bad.
Dan, he did say, he was like, it was a basement, a great guest room. I was comfortable. I just couldn't sleep. I was so excited. So
It is a great basement guest room. Full disclosure, I sneak down there for some naps sometimes. You know, when you get in that basement room.
Yeah.
No light.
Yeah.
No one knows you're there.
Good spot.
Kyle,
Way to hide.
what's BC working with? What kind of pads he got?
Man, you know
Nice
what?
pad?
He's
We don't kiss and tell.
Hey, nice pads.
You know what? It was nice. I slept
You can
well.
stay. You can stay.
Nice
I
cup
wanna
of
stay. I
coffee
can't
this
wait.
morning.
I have a gym that you can take a picture of at 5 a.m. and not work out.
He's got a great
In
gym.
the corner, set it up in the corner. Just go shirtless.
He's got an Olympic setup.
Does he?
Yeah, I got a squat rack.
Olympos, bro. Like
Got
a
squat
rack.
rack.
and you had cereal with the kids.
Yeah,
I mean, you're part of the
exactly.
family now.
It was
It
like
was all
being
good.
home.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was good times.
All right, let's get to the storyline games of the week presented by the Chevy Silverado. We are going to start with the Steelers and the Browns. Jerry, I'm just going to start with you. I want your speech before we hand it off to the boys.
Yeah,
Got that fresh cut. Go ahead.
Yeah, all right. I'm feeling myself today. Last night I got a haircut at like 9 o'clock at night. I was texting the guy. I was like, "Can you squeeze me in?" He's like, "I got you." Instead of Friday, when I was in the car driving home, like, dude, I was like, I am fucking handsome. I'm so hot right now. And then I went to hop in the shower. I took my shirt off and I was like, "You are fat. You are fat." Anyway, no Deshaun Watson. That's big. The rest of the year he's out. It's unfortunate for Browns fans, but this is just what the Browns are. They've been this way for 20, 30 years. It will be a tough game. It will be a very tough game. So Browns defense is very good. I expect the Steelers to win this game. Now, if the Steelers lose this game, the season is over. The season is over because losing this game, then you have to travel to play the Bengals. They probably will lose that game. So I'm looking at this game as a must-win. If the Steelers don't win this game, the season is cooked.
Wow.
They have to beat D2R. They have to beat this guy.
Kyle, how do you feel about that?
Well, first off, the D2R decision is kind of perplexing to me. We saw him early on in the season, and he kind of looked like a chicken with his head cut off in the backfield. And prior to that first start, I thought this guy had a lot of starts in college.
Yep.
He's got a lot of experience. There are guys in the league right now starting that aren't as talented, but they're experienced, and they're doing pretty well. I didn't see that his first time out. And for Kenny Pickett and this Steelers team, to your point, they should go out there and win this game. And if they don't win it, it's because Kenny doesn't start fast. If Kenny doesn't start fast and the Browns can stay ahead of schedule with the running game and force the linebacking crew of the Steelers to make 21 tackles like Roquan Smith did last week, it's going to be an ugly game for the Steelers. I think it's one of those ones where the Browns could sneak out of there with a win. Steelers should win this game.
Should.
Does Kenny ever start fast?
No.
He did maybe last week against the Packers?
Last 2 weeks he started.
He ran the ball
Relatively
well
speaking.
last week, yeah.
Fast for what he normally starts
Yes.
off like.
Kyle's right, though. I don't understand the DTR thing. I know P.J. Walker is not good. DTR is maybe he gets there because I loved him at UCLA. He's not an NFL quarterback.
Like, there's got to be something there, right?
It's weird. And it's funny because you look around the league right now, and I think there's like 5 teams that are all like, man, I wish we had Josh Dobbs. Zupi, is our Browns fan, was like, why'd we let Josh Dobbs go? So I think it's going to be a tough game because the Browns, the best unit on the field is going to be the Browns defense. But DTR, I just don't know how they score points. I don't know how they score points. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think the Steelers are going to win. Also, really sad fact for Zupi, last 10 years, this is the 55th time the Browns are starting a backup quarterback. 55 times in 10 years, and Baker Mayfield didn't miss a start for 2 years. So that's 55 times in 8 years.
It's like a minute clinic
It's
over
insane. Insane.
That is awful.
It's crazy.
I got the Browns. I think Jerome Ford, he finally got going last week against, obviously, the Ravens, like one of the best teams in the league. The Browns played well, man. I mean, they held Jim Schwartz in that defense 2 for 8 on 3rd down. I think the defense wins this game, and I think they win with the running game. What's his name? D2R?
D2R.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Yeah. They're just
lot
going
of
to
words.
that box up.
I know, but I like the defense, man. I like the defense.
Will, just so you know, the Steelers are without both their starting linebackers for the whole rest of the year.
The Steelers
Quan
are without him?
Alexander, Cole Holcomb.
Yeah, the onus is going to be on the middle of that football field. And you look at the strength
Minka might not play.
of that Steelers defense is the edges of the rush group. And what is Cleveland not going to do? They're not going to be out there dropping back and throwing the ball. So they're going to say, force Highsmith, force TJ Watt to play the run, and say, go win the game that way.
So it sounds like you're taking the Browns.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
You're right, though.
adding
The
this
only
point.
the only thing the Steelers
I like to look
have
at both sides.
on that team is the pass rush, and you just said it. The only way to slow that down is a good run game, and I think Ford gets going this weekend.
It's going to be an ugly game.
Damn it, Will. You got me.
Ugly game.
Steelers.
I'm saying, you know it. Defense, run game.
If they score if the Steelers score on the first drive, it's over.
That's only happened one time this year, and I think it was last
Twice.
week.
Big if.
On the first drive?
Twice.
The last
Who
2
else?
weeks.
The last 2 weeks.
I don't know if the Titans they did.
Yeah, they did. The first drive. Yeah, they did.
Guy got a
Scored
new
a
haircut.
touchdown?
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
Let's look at the drive chart.
Might have.
I think that's
You got the
Maybe I'm
drive
wrong.
chart?
I'll look it up.
Okay.
Okay, the Titans. Packers, they scored.
But this is gonna be a
Packers.
classic.
Hey, we're talking Cleveland Browns. This is the best.
This is gonna be
defense
classic
in the game.
ugly
It is the best
football,
defense
though.
in the game.
It's gonna be
gonna be
can
gross.
Kenny Pickett take what the defense gives him?
I'll give you another stat.
He's right.
Can they
He's
run
right.
the
scored on
run the
first
ball? on
Kenny
first
Pickett,
down?
what's his
That's
record
why I
all
had to
time
be
in the
lead.
division? Kenny Pickett.
No idea.
Take a guess.
Do what? Say that again.
All time in division, what's his record?
500.
What is it?
4-1.
That's better than
Not a
500.
huge sample size.
Steelers won't score 10.
Steelers won't score 10?
Steelers won't score 10.
Yeah?
It'll
you
be-
don't think so?
it'll be-
I don't think so. I know so.
Oh, you know so? So put something up then.
What do you want to do?
The glimmer in his eye when you
$50.
said that.
Yeah, okay.
$50.
Over-under's 9.5.
9.5, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And I want a $50 bill too, not two 20s and a 10.
You'll get
Grant?
what you get. You'll get $50. You'll get $50.
All right.
Wait, can he hit you on like a Venmo or something?
I'm canceled from Venmo. So
Oh, that's
I
right.
gotta
That's
give him
right.
cash. I gotta go to the bank.
That's right.
Jerry got canceled card schemes.
Next,
Pittsburgh
next topic.
outgained.
Next topic.
Next topic.
Every game they've been outgained.
Every game.
They're not good, but they have a good record.
Keep going, guys.
You are what your record is.
Keep trying. Well,
George is like,
63.
fuck, throw me the ball.
Let's go to Sunday Night Football. The Vikings at the Broncos. Kyle, I will start with you. The Broncos beat the Bills last week on Monday Night Football. The Vikings, they also won last week. But the Broncos it's a weird team, right? Like, you don't necessarily know how to feel. Obviously, the end of that game was crazy. But where do you stand on them this season?
Russell Wilson's not dead.
No.
The defense is very much alive. Sean Payton is a really good coach, and we had our opportunity to laugh at him, and I hope we laughed hard because you know what? He's going to make a run here with the Broncos. I really like them. And for the Vikings, this is like the sneaky game I want to fucking watch more than any other game of the week because I fell in love with the Broncos like America has the last few weeks, getting after Josh Allen, beating Mahomes, doing things that are unprecedented for that unit. And then for the Vikings, Josh Dobbs is just so much fun to watch. His ability to extend plays, yes, he does well in the pocket. Yes, he can manage the game, get guys set up on the right place. But when things go wrong, we've seen it time and time again here in his short stint with the Vikings. He's able to extend plays. The team has a belief. Justin Jefferson back in practice in a limited capacity this week. We've seen the team have success without him on the field. Imagine what that group looks like with Justin Jefferson on the field. And who better than go and exhibition that against than this defense of Denver who's red hot right now.
Will?
So you going? You got who you got?
I got the Vikings.
Okay. I like that. I'm with you on that because I think to complement all that stuff too, like the defense is playing a lot better. Coach Flores, like they blitz well, and you know when a team
Every
blitzes
down.
well, it keeps the playbook open the entire game because when you're not executing a blitz or you don't get a readout or you don't complement this rush or you mess it up, a coach gets nervous, he throws it out of the book, you keep it simple. Vikings are playing well. I love the momentum. I love the culture of next man up mentality. And I also love O'Connell and Wes Phillips, the way they're operating.
O'Connell's such a great coach.
Dude, he's
like
awesome.
our age.
Yes, bro. Well, didn't he back up? He backed up Brady, right?
We're losers, dude.
Yeah, he backed up Brady. I think. Yeah, we are.
Like when you look
But
around,
that
you're
is a
like,
life.
damn.
That
He's
is a.
coaching an astrophysicist.
That happened to me when Sean McVay, and I was like, wait, I'm older than
What
Sean
are they
McVay.
calling him? The
Oh.
astronaut?
Astronaut.
I love that.
Dan,
Yeah, Vikings. I like
Who are you
Vikings.
taking?
I'm going to take the Vikings too. Let's
go.
I'm going to do it. I do think Russell Wilson is back. What he's been able to do as, like, we all wrote him off, myself very much included. That game on Monday night, as bad as the Bills have been, and they've been bad, and they have just basically shot themselves in the foot, the Broncos started like every drive from plus territory. It was like, I just looked it up. It was, they started a drive on the Buffalo 25, the Buffalo 31, the Buffalo 48, the Buffalo 47. It was, that should have been a game the Broncos actually like blew them out, and they needed that last second field goal and the 12 men on the field. So I think the Broncos are better, but I think that we're getting a little confused by the result there, and I'm going to take the Vikings. The Vikings also, their defense has been incredible. Their offensive line has been really good. I like the Vikings. They're playing great ball.
One thing I want to add to this is the Russell Wilson performance last week reminded me a lot of what made people fall in love with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Taking care of the football, looking down the field, not afraid to go down the field, but always checking it down.
And using his legs like Russell Wilson, I think that's the biggest thing, the change that we've seen from last year.
He's
where it's
lighter.
like he's okay to, tuck it and run. If the coverage is going to give him just wide open space in the middle of the field, just go and get 8 yards and slide.
Kills the defense.
And he didn't do that much last year, and this year he's okay to do it. So you can see him kind of be back, yeah.
Gambling stat?
Oh, for sure.
4-0-1 against the spread in their last 5, Vikings.
Ooh.
That's a good stat.
Why?
All right, now.
They've won 5 in a row.
Yeah, won 5 in a row.
It's crazy. They're going to go
It
to
is
the
impressive.
playoffs.
It is cool.
I was ready for them to sell their entire roster week 4.
Yeah.
I was like, we can make this happen,
We'd
right?
said on this show, trade Justin Jefferson.
Still believe it.
Yeah, we did. That was when it turned around.
Yeah.
Called for his head.
We talked a lot about Russell Wilson early in the season. We started saying, is he playing himself out of the Hall of Fame? That's how crazy it seemed like. Where do we stand with him now? You think he's bought this, good graces back with the Broncos?
I'm not going to say he's, that good right now.
No, but is he going back in the right direction?
I think it's nice that the Broncos now have options, because for a while it was looking like they got to basically just eat all this money, get rid of them, draft a quarterback. Now you've seen that they can find a way to win with Russell Wilson.
No doubt.
And maybe next year they, bolster everything else and keep him and try to do it again.
And the guys are responding well to Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
That's one thing we've seen. And it's unprecedented, honestly, because we hear the guys from Seattle talk about him. They're like, we couldn't even get a hold of him. We had to call his manager.
Yeah. He got humbled.
And now he's in Denver, and guys are tweeting out apology forms for fans that made fun of Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
They're like, what was your
That is a
reason?
good
What was
point.
your gripe? What was
Because it was the final drive, I think, too, or one of those last drives where he goes in the huddle and he's tapping off his guys on the helmet. I'm
right.
This is kind of a different
I got chills
vibe.
just
Yeah, right.
I love football.
Yeah.
You love ball, man. You're a ball guy.
You're a team guy. Let's go to Monday Night Football. Big game between the Eagles and the Chiefs. Before we break down the game, we're going to go to Lucas Edits, presented by Jersey Jerry.
Probably going to put me in this.
No, I don't think you're in this. All right, welcome back. Pro Football Show Game of the Week. We have the Eagles at the Kansas City Chiefs. Lucas Edits, presented by Jersey Jerry. This is going to be a great matchup. Eagles drive down the field, have to settle for a field goal. It's 3-0.
In the rain.
Patrick Mahomes gets the ball back
Lot of
right away,
precipitation.
drops back to pass, hits a wide open Travis Kelce for a touchdown. Where are all the Swifties? We need a Swiftie cam. Jalen Hurts back to throw, sacked, fumble. The Chiefs recover. 7-3 currently right now. Second quarter, Mahomes back to throw, a touchdown again, 14-3. Jalen Hurts back to pass now, comes back down the field. They have to settle for the field goal to end the second quarter. Settle for a oh my God, fuck.
No, Jerry.
Second and 6, Patrick Mahomes drops back to pass, hits a wide open target, but he's short of the end zone. Game is turning out into be a blowout. Hurts driving back down the field, and it's to nobody. One of the worst throws of all time. Jalen Hurts misses an open target, comes right back, but it's too late. Game over, 24-6. The Chiefs win in a blowout.
Am I a mommy there?
I don't know.
Mommy Kyle?
That was just the very end, just holding Jerry.
Go Chiefs!
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs in the rain.
Chiefs
And
for
you know
life.
what? If it did rain, I would expect the team that had the experience in situations to come out on top. And I always consider the Chiefs to be the team that's more experienced, right? You can't throw anything at Patrick Mahomes unless it's Denver 3 weeks ago. That's going to confuse him. This game, the rematch, the Super Bowl rematch, this is the one we've all been talking about. I said at the beginning of the year, November 20th, the Eagles are going to be undefeated when they go to Arrowhead. Well, they got one loss. It's pretty damn close. I was pretty damn close there. But I'll tell you what, the matchups for this game, it all comes down to the matchups. And the one matchup I really don't like is Jalen Hurts versus the Mike linebacker spot. Jalen Hurts versus the middle of the field. When Jalen's going to extend plays, when that physical secondary of the Chiefs actually are the ones that put hands on A.J. Brown for once this season. Somebody's got to put hands on him.
They'll try.
You saw what L'Jarius Sneed did to Justin Jefferson. Big double hand to the face. Almost borderline dirty stuff, but it's the game you got to play when you're playing against guys like A.J. Brown and the Eagles. I think Nick Bolton being out for the Chiefs hasn't reared its ugly head yet defensively, but it could against this Eagles team. And look for Willie Gay to light up. Maybe 2 sacks for Willie Gay.
Oh.
Okay.
Linebacker position. I think Spags is going to be sending him, keeping his guys in coverage.
Spags is so good. So wait, are you taking the Chiefs?
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Okay, so.
Eagles.
Oh, you're taking the Eagles?
Going to Eagles.
Taking the Chiefs.
You were talking about, too, Denver confusing them. Like, Denver played coverage. They just rushed really smart when they played the Chiefs a couple of weeks ago. Forced turnovers. We were talking about it on the Pro Football Show. Like, Travis was his only answer, is his only answer. They started hot against Miami out in Germany, but they went scoreless in the second half. Miami got it together in the second half. They just didn't have enough to win that game in the end. But I like the Eagles because it's like, who has the better all-around team? Eagles. Who's better on the ground?
they?
Who's better on the ground?
Their fronts. Their
I
front
believe
unit.
so.
But hold on, the Eagles secondary, and I think the Eagles are a phenomenal team. They most likely will be back in the Super Bowl. Them or the Niners. Is their defense their secondary? Like the Cowboys,
if they have a question mark, it is the secondary.
Right.
But the good thing is you have veterans like Slay and Guy. Like, to me, the gaming aspect gets figured out later in the year. Like, yeah, I do believe they have a question mark, just like the Niners have had a question mark up until this point. But they have, like, savvy vets in the room. They're going to figure it out and get it together.
Their rush group is on. I think their rush group is the real X factor for Philadelphia. The X factor for the Chiefs against that is the interior offensive line.
But their offensive line has been very good. The Chiefs' offensive line.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
That's a matchup that's going to be worth watching.
That Cowboys game, and it's one game, so you never know. But I felt like the Cowboys were able to get such easy yards against the Eagles secondary, and especially over the middle. They were, Jake Ferguson had a huge game against
Dak
them.
looked great.
I don't know. I actually am gonna. I think I picked on advisors the Eagles as a revenge game, Jerry. Right?
Yep.
I'm switching.
No problem.
Here's what it comes down to. There's 2 things. Patrick Mahomes under a field goal. Like, this guy's the best guy. He's the best quarterback in the world. He's under a field goal at
Take him
home.
for granted.
Andy Reid off a bye. 28-4 off a bye. Andy Reid.
It's a good stat.
Straight up. Under a field goal, all you got to do pretty much is win the game. I'm going to take the Chiefs. Their defense is so good, and I don't think people have fully realized how good their defense is and that they can beat you multiple ways. And Patrick Mahomes in the offense hasn't been lighting it up, but it's coming. Like, that's going to happen. That will happen later on in the year. They will all start clicking. He's getting a lot of new receivers, together. So,
and guys that they weren't leaning on heavily in the offense, a guy like Jerick McKinnon, who always down the playoff stretch in the Super Bowl is a guy that Pat can throw it to. He's the check down running back. He can split out at receiver. We've seen him involved in the last couple of weeks.
Rashee Rice, who's like coming along, who he's going to pop one of these weeks.
He's coming, but he's not AJ. He's not Devontae Smith.
No, I know. I think
How many guys are AJ?
I think the Chiefs.
None. Even Devontae, he's like a 600-yard receiver. Like the best receiving option the Chiefs have. Like they don't have one guy over 600 yards this year.
You're right.
It's Travis Kelsey that's close to it.
The Chiefs' defense, though, is a lot better than it was last year, and I think it might be better than the Eagles' defense, which is crazy. I know people are gonna be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Because the Eagles' pass rush is elite. Yeah. I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Eagles pass rush is elite. The Chiefs screen game is elite. And what does a screen game do to a pass rush? It negates it, Will. And if you can run it enough times, these guys are going to be afraid to rush the passer.
That's what got me in trouble last week with the Saints.
Jalen Carter, one of the most explosive, jetting interior defensive linemen in the league. Young players.
Everything, yeah.
And my favorite guys to play against were those guys because it was like, look, you're going to run yourself out of the play. If we run screen, I'm going to be running for 40 yards with Matt Forte, and you're going to be eating dirt. And that's what the Chiefs are going to try to do. It's going to try to the jiu-jitsu approach.
Right.
Use your strength against you.
Right. Yeah, no, it's a good point. Yeah, I'm going Chiefs.
Damn. I still like the Eagles.
Okay.
I didn't know if that was going to sway you a little bit.
No, because the whole time we were talking about it too. Like we're not talking at all about how this Eagles offense always stays ahead of the chains. It's going to slow the game down. Time of possession will play in their favor, and I think the Chiefs do struggle with that. So. Yeah.
The game's going to be awesome.
Game's going to be
Game's going to be great. Let's go to the Gotta Have It picks of the week. We've got Dan and the Titans and the Jags who gotta have it.
The Jags have to have it. So the Jags are on my fraud alert because they have stepped up in class twice this year. They played the 49ers. They played the Chiefs. They scored under 10 points in both those games. They have to start beating these other teams and beating them soundly. I also think I like the Jags this week because the Titans. Now, Will Levis, I'm a Will Levis fan, but he played three defenses his first 3 starts. The Falcons, the Steelers, and the Bucks. All three of those defenses are not great in coverage. Like they're bottom half of the league. Their secondary is not their strength. The Jags have been very good in coverage this year, and I think this is going to be a very, very hard game. I think he's going to have a little step up here where he's got to figure out how to do more, and it's not going to be easy. And I think the Jags, like, this is kind of a who are we game for the Jags. Like, are we the team that is going to be in the playoffs, that's going to make a deep run? Because we saw last week they got completely embarrassed by the Niners. So this rallying,
they got bullied.
Yeah, let's get it together.
They really did.
The Jags got to win this game by a couple touchdowns for me to feel good about the Jags going forward.
Will, how do you feel about
So
the
you're
Jags?
taking them to
I'm
cover
taking
too?
I'm taking them to cover, and I think they just have advantages all over the field that if they don't blow out the Titans, I'm going to be like, this Jags team is not even close to for real.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like last week against the Niners, you start off both series 3-and-out. Then you get behind them 10-0. You're turning the ball over. I think they turned it over 4 times last week, and they just got mopped. The good news is they're playing the Titans, not the 49ers. I think there's every reason to say the Jags, but for some weird feeling,
Vrabel in your
I
head.
feel like this is this is Vrabel in my head. He's going to Burt Kreischer this Friday. I think he's taking the fam. I think there's just going to be an energy in the air that's – they might not win, but I'll take the points. I'll take the Titans with the points.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's got to be Jacksonville.
It has to be.
Got to be Jacksonville. And that San Francisco team just outclassed them last week up front.
Killed them.
Defensive line, offensive line. They were bullying their best players up front. Eric Armstead had a field day. But for this Jags team, I think they get after the Titans here. And they've got good rushers. They've got good cover players. So for Will Levis, it's not only figuring out the answers to the test down the field, it's avoiding the trebuchets in the backfield as well. Which those rushers, Josh Allen being one of them. And now you got to do yours, right? You got to do yours, and then I do mine?
Yeah, so his got to have a pick of the week, the Jets and the Bills.
I'm excited about hearing what
Either of them.
Yeah.
Both of them have to have it. I mean, you see,
Double gotta have
This
it.
is a double gotta have it.
Double gotta
because
have it.
they're
First one
both
of the
sitting there.
season.
They're both sitting there, middle of the road. They're in the division. Who's going to try to make a push for this wild card spot? I'm going with the Jets.
Oh.
I don't see why not.
Right.
It's like I don't see why you don't go the Jets here. Go defense, defense, defense.
Exactly.
Buffalo
The point.
just fired
Exactly.
just fired Ken Dorsey.
Exactly.
What's his name? Who
Exactly.
came?
The quarterback coach.
Who's the quarterback coach? What's his name?
It's Joe
Hack.
Brady.
Joe Brady.
Joe
Who's-
Brady.
who's
Where was
with-
he last year?
The
Panthers for Coach Rule fired.
Where was he?
And then
Where
was he?
fired.
LSU?
He's not going to do
Where's the
anything.
year
That's
before
where he
that?
came
He was
from.
with Joe Burrow.
Oh, college football.
He was with
He's
Joe
not going to do
Burrow.
anything different. There's not a lot that's going to change. I think the Bills are in trouble,
They're in trouble.
right now. This is very much a gotta have it, and it also is for the Jets. But I'm taking the Jets. I'm going defense.
Kyle?
Week 1, how'd they handle it?
Man, I love Josh Allen so much. I love Josh Allen so much. You know what? I'm going to go with the Bills, and I think it's because of this. They have a new play caller, and it's as simple as that. I mean, if you've got a guy as talented as Josh Allen, you got a running back like they do in Buffalo who came on last week, ran the football inspired last week, cooked. I think that they have to lean on Josh Allen, let him run more, break the back of the defense, force that defense to play the right coverage every time, stay home. I'm taking the Bills, man. I'm taking the Bills.
I have a couple things.
Your own grave.
One
I'm a Josh
is
Allen guy.
So what you said, everything you said, I agree with, Will.
They're pissed.
And I'm an idiot. So everything you said, I agree with. I saw this game and I was like, Jets +7. They own the Bills. They own Josh Allen. The Jets the Bills shouldn't be favored by 7 against anyone right now with the way they're playing ball. That's why you have to take the Bills.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you got to take the Bills. Now I have a question for you, Kyle, because you know this.
gotta do it.
You know this better than anyone. Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Our guy Jay Cutler. I love Jay, but obviously I see a little bit of Jay and Josh in the fact that they have superhuman arm strength, and there's 2 or 3 times a game where they're like, my arm strength will beat everyone, and try to throw it through a receiver. What for the offense when those kind of mistakes happen? Like, what happens in the room that week where it's just like, is he?
Are you talking about where he threw it through Gabe Davis?
Yeah, there's
like,
two situations.
It was open and he kind of threw
no,
it hard as shit?
the
You have to
interception at the end of the first half.
On
When
the
he
left
just-
side.
Yeah. When
Underneath,
he's
he
like-
tried to go whole shot, and there's a guy there.
They're playing zone. There's a guy underneath and over. I think Diggs he was thrown to, and he's like, I'm just going to whip it here and it will work, and it didn't. And it's like those type of plays, he has to figure out a way. He's not playing good football right now. He's got to figure out a way to not make those mistakes. But what happens in the room during the week when you see those? Like, does the quarterback just say, yeah, like I got to clean it up, like that's on me? I mean, that was. I'm worried about Josh. I'm worried about like his propensity to just 2 or 3 times a game be like, fuck it, I'm throwing as hard as I can, it will work.
You know, it's who he is, right? And I mean, it's part of why we love him so much because he's so polarizing.
It's gotten too,
and
what's
as a player,
the tone like
as a player in the room, say like we're watching the film on Monday or whatever, Tuesday, it's like, guys, it's okay if we punt every once in a while.
Right.
We have a pretty good defense.
Right.
We can get after these guys.
Bills don't.
They could throw, but you know what I'm saying?
They played well against the Broncos.
Any team. It's better to punt than throw a pick.
Right.
It's better to punt than to try to force the ball. Now, the Gabe Davis interception, that's on Gabe Davis.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one of those ones where you go, hey, guys, you know, that's an explosive play that turned into a pick. Nothing you can do there. Our guy's got a cannon. He's got to come down with that ball. But the pick on the left side is just a head-scratcher, and you're blocking your ass off the whole drive. You get that to happen. You know, and then you're behind the sticks the whole game.
Yeah.
It's a tough place to be. And it's not like you're selling your quarterback down the river, but it's like, dude.
Just like 2 of those throws a game, just be like, it's okay to punt. That's a good point. The one part of this game we haven't talked about, Zach Wilson is a mess. They haven't scored a touchdown in 2 weeks. How are they going to score against the Bills? Because the Bills' defense they obviously missed a lot of players. A lot of guys get injured, but it does feel like they're starting to figure it out a little bit on the defensive side. They played pretty well against the Broncos, especially considering the Broncos had plus territory every time they started a drive.
Teeing off from the red tees.
Yeah, right, exactly. Teeing off in the red tees. It's got to be the Bills.
What do you make
Those
of
are
Zach
great
Wilson?
points. Those are good points.
Because Zach
different.
it's like, what do you make of him?
So I see that Hail Mary, and I'm like, "Guy, he might be the most talented guy in the NFL."
That's the play he made in the pro day, where he's like rolling around and he whips it like 60 yards.
But it's the same stuff we see Caleb Williams do
at
USC, and we're like, God, I mean, just across his body like that, cocky like that. Zach Wilson has the same kind of confidence that Josh Allen has, and the same kind of arm talent where he's like, I can put it anywhere. But what we don't have with Zach is a true confidence right now. I really don't think we have that confidence. Where Josh could throw 4 picks, I think he's still confident. That's the difference.
Yeah, which might be a problem.
Yeah.
That actually might be a problem. Because he
On
probably.
either side.
But it's also he's still confident, and you also know your guys are still confident. Because you kind of know if the guys give up on you.
Right.
Which I feel like Zach is like, he could have that confidence in him, but the moment you doubt yourself and then you feel like other guys are doubting you,
We're all playing
no matter what,
behind the 8 ball.
no matter what
Right.
position you're in, you're just thinking like, damn, you miss one play, like you miss something in the open field, and you're like, man, is everybody sitting there like, oh, Will's never going to make a play in the open field?
Yeah.
You get in your own head about
Yeah.
it. So I do feel like that's where the difference is with Josh.
It's 2 quarterbacks that are struggling right now.
Yeah.
That are kind of in their own head. I would bet on Josh Allen being able to figure it out before Zach Wilson because he's at least shown that he can figure it out. Last thing about Josh Allen too, I agree with you. Like the gunslinger, it's okay. You know, it's okay to punt. It's also you want a guy who takes risks. Like I do believe like guys who throw 0 interceptions. And you watch the game, you're like, well, there's a reason why, because they're checking everything down and they're not taking any risks, pushing the ball downfield. Josh, you can live with it when he's like 36 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Mm-hmm. Right now, it's like 19 and 11. You can't live with that. That's just too many mistakes. So if he can just eliminate a couple of those mistakes a game and just be like, let's just have one clean game. One clean game. Bills play one clean game, they win this game. And they win it by more than 7.
And the play calling could be the X factor here because even though Josh is struggling, it's all on him. Like you watch that offense, there's like no identity. It's him playing backyard football.
I have one last thing I forgot I wanted to ask you guys because I love being able to talk ball with you guys.
Yeah.
The color's huge.
The James Cook, he fumbles on the first play of the game for the Bills, and they bench him for like 2 quarters.
Brutal.
If you're on the field and a guy fumbles and gets benched, and he's your best player in that position, like no offense to Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray's like 40 years old. James Cook has that explosiveness. You saw when they scored a quick touchdown, it was all James Cook starting that drive, like 5 runs in a row, big chunk yards. What is the fuck is our coach doing? Like, we want our best guys out there. I know he fumbled, but like, what are we doing?
Like, we get the message.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I saw somebody.
It's only running backs, too.
Yeah.
It's only running backs.
Somebody tweeted something. Man, I wish I could remember who it was so I could give them the credit. But it was like.
You could just rip it off.
Yeah. I think that I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this.
You tweeted this.
I heard it was
Yeah.
Sure.
Quarterback throws an interception, they stay in the game. Offensive lineman, they mess up, they stay in the game. Any other position, they mess up in their spot and hurt the team and cause the team, they stay in the game except for the
running back.
Which is so true.
Which then hurts the team because you fucking bench your best
backs
running
are
back.
just criminally
Criminally.
disrespectful.
And what's funny is in the film room, too, even defensively, if a running back fumbles one time, time, they're just labeled as a fumbler for the rest of time.
Right.
After that ball.
Right.
You can see Shady
loose with that
McCoy the
football.
way he's loosened, and all they say is he just doesn't know he's a fumbler yet. He hasn't fumbled. He just doesn't know he's a fumbler yet. Like running backs have to do it. Once you fumble, it's over.
He just doesn't know.
I love that.
He doesn't know he's a fumbler yet. All right, Kyle, your gotta have it matchup of the week: the Cardinals and the
I
Texans.
gotta have it. Cardinals at the Texans. You know what? I think it's a gotta have it for both of these teams here. And for the Houston Texans, they're a team that's trying to reinvent themselves. They've done a great job. C.J. Stroud has played out of this world football. Tank Dell, the made-up football player. Noah Brown, 170 yards last week. He had 8 targets, 7 catches, 170 yards, including the one to move the sticks to drain the clock at the end when they had to have it. The defense has been awesome. Sheldon Rankins, D'Amico Ryans. This operation is looking like a real football team, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Post-game locker room.
it's almost like Patriot Way-ish, where the guys are just like, we're going to do the right thing, because we have to, because we're the Houston Texans. That's the only way we can win the game. They go and they beat the Bengals on the road. They overtake them in the playoff race.
Yep.
Now the Texans have an opportunity to control their own destiny, right?
Yep.
From the math I just did in my head.
You're right.
The Cardinals have Kyler Murray, who looked like Kyler Murray last week.
He did.
He's playing for his spot on that team.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing for the respect from Coach Gannon, which we've now seen is a good coach. They've tanked the best out of anybody. They've been in every game.
Yeah.
This Cardinals team, and now they get Kyler Murray. I'm telling you right now, I got Kyler Murray this weekend.
Ooh.
Wow.
I got the Cardinals, and I gotta have it.
Dan?
This is a tough game.
Disagree.
Oh, you think it's easy?
I don't think it's. I think this team, the way C.J. Stroud is playing like an MVP, the way they're playing like a contender, I think this team is for real. And at home, they win. Just a little data point by an average of 11 points at home. I think
wild.
they'll be excited.
Well,
to
that was
play.
because they kicked the shit out of the Steelers.
Easy, Dan.
It
But
helped.
Will, tell me this.
That helped.
You're on a team that can go to Cincinnati and we get up to play the Bengals.
This
and
is
we
what
beat the
my point
Bengals.
was going to be. Yep.
But now you got the Cardinals at home.
And
Are you going to try to sleepwalk through this one and rely on C.J. Stroud? Or
You got a young rookie quarterback who's
right.
playing for a lot. This isn't somebody who just, this is still his first year where
There's
he's
52
like.
other guys.
But
There are, but if you want your quarterback being the guy kind of leading the charge, he kind of sets the tone.
Okay, so here's my question. C.J. Stroud, and you guys have both played with rookie quarterbacks or young quarterbacks. C.J. Stroud has been phenomenal. Like, he is
best.
clearly the rookie of the year on the offensive side of the ball, maybe even the MVP with the way he's playing. It's insane watching him play and being like, this guy's a rookie. Like, the throws he's making flat-footed throws like 25 yards down the field on a dime. He is so good. But the Texans have won 2 games now, emotional games. They remember the Bucs game at home when they came back. It was back and forth. They win last second in that game. And then last week against the Bengals. Is there a little bit of an emotional letdown? This is the most hype that C.J. Stroud has had. I think C.J. Stroud's wired differently. I don't think he's like, I'm going to read my press clippings guy. But it's also kind of impossible, human nature, to see all that, see all the praise heaped on you, be like, the Texans are good, and then have a 2-8 Cardinals team come in and be up for it the same way you're up for the Bengals.
with a lethal quarterback.
I think the Cardinals will stay inside the number. That's my pick. I think the Texans will win.
So you think that Texans
I think the
Don't
Cardinals
cover, but they
cover, the Texans win. I think it's like a 3-point game just because of the emotional letdown here.
The football fan in me just says, I would love to see the Cardinals go win. Because, what makes the NFL more interesting? More players. And
Yeah.
Kyler Murray, if he
Kyler
goes out
Murray is
there and
fun,
gets after
yes.
C.J. Stroud in a shootout, if we get to see a shootout, that's all I want to see.
Be awesome.
Will, where do you stand?
Is there any, I know the pros. I know the pros, but you know how it
I'm
works.
close on the
emotional
on the winning
letdown.
but not covering. I'm close on the winning but not covering.
Within the number.
Texans, you're hot. You're 10-2 last week.
Go with your gut.
Let's go. Let's go.
Hey!
Let's go with the boys.
Oh, we're fucked.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, whenever that graphic.
Will's going to text me and be like, what the hell, dude?
C.J. Stroud's going to watch
Why'd you
this
do
show.
this? Why'd you do this?
Okay, let's go to the rapid fire games of the week presented by Body Armor. Jersey Jerry is, as always, the water guy, bringing us some Body Armor. Body Armor is the official water of Barstool Sports. We've got him here. Of course, you've got the sports drinks as well that Dan is drinking. You can go to Amazon, stores nationwide, get it anywhere. We love Body Armor. Let's start with the Chargers at the Packers. Will, I will start with you. The Chargers favored by 3.
Look, Packers are not very good. They're struggling. They've struggled all year. Both defenses not very good. I'm leaning on offense here, and Chargers to me have an offense that is out of the Packers league. So I'm going Chargers.
Dan?
I hate this game. This game sucks.
It does.
because I think the Chargers are obviously better than the Packers, but I also think the Chargers should never be 3-point favorites on the road. Every game they play in comes down to a field goal. Like, that's just what they do. They're not able to blow teams out. I guess they did blow out the Bears a couple weeks ago. Jerry just spilled. The Chargers don't. Austin Eckler's awesome, but it's not like they're a power running team.
No, they don't. He can't get it going.
Yeah, a lot of screens, a lot of stuff out of the backfield. The Packers' biggest problem is they cannot stop the run. You saw it. They let the Steelers kind of like come to life running the football. I'm going to take the Packers. I hate this game.
Taking the Packers?
It's literally just because I don't think the Chargers can beat anyone. Like, every Chargers game is the same. They get to the fourth quarter, and it's like, how is this a 3-point game one way or the other?
Last week was the Lions.
I'm going to say nice things about both teams.
Oh, please do.
That's hard to do.
People said Jordan Love couldn't throw the ball down the field, and at times he hasn't thrown the ball down the field very well. He's got guys who can go down the field and get the football. I really like Watson, Dobbs. I mean, they have a good young core at receiver. What's the guy's name?
Gutenkoost.
Gutenkoost. He's like, we've got to see it from Jordan Love here. And I think that tells me Jordan Love's going to take some shots down the field, wants to continue to try to get better at that. When the Packers run the ball, they are actually a real offense.
Aaron Jones being out for half the year.
People have to respect that line of scrimmage, and when they do, they could present some advantageous situations for Jordan to throw it down the field. Now, for the Chargers, not named Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert's my favorite quarterback in the NFL.
Ooh.
Wow.
He's my favorite guy to watch. An Oregon Duck, a big physical freak show. He's a guy that I love to watch. And I'm not going to pick against Justin Herbert in this one. The Packers aren't good enough to get it going. I've got the Chargers, and it's just going to be rolling offensively, like you said.
The other thing with the Chargers is the middle of their defense is so bad. So bad. So if Matt LaFleur, this is a game that Matt LaFleur, if you are the play-calling guy that everyone thinks you are and the Sean McVay tree, figure it out because they can be had. The Lions were able to do whatever they wanted in the middle of the field. And back to what Kyle just said about running the football, I've never seen what the Lions did on last Sunday. It was 4th and 5, and they just ran the ball. And they got it.
Let them hang.
That is the most demoralizing thing you can do to a defense. Be you guys suck so bad, we will get 6 yards running the ball.
Running the
football.
Yes.
Dan Campbell, football guy.
Yes.
It's like the real teams can convert when everybody in the stadium knows that you're going to run the football.
Yeah.
And when you line up and run it and you get your 5 yards, buddy, let me tell you.
Best feeling.
A lot of fun. We need a celebration timeout here.
Yeah. Hey, the rumor going around.
What?
Billy B.
Oh,
Chargers being a spot.
Oh.
Chargers being a spot next year. That's
That might be an O-line coach.
Oh.
I like
okay. That's a
I'm
rumor?
just saying that's the rumor. Yeah, that is. The rumor is that Billy B is done in New England, and no one's really leaked who his front runner is, but there seems to be a clear front runner out there, and now it's coming around that the rumor is it is the LA.
What about the Raiders?
You think so?
I mean, he just fits the mold.
After the McDaniel move?
He fits the mold,
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom comes back to play.
Man, if the Raiders continue to have some
even say
momentum,
that.
They won't.
I do.
They're going to get killed.
I do think that AP gets a real look because it's like you're getting the same example again with the interim head coach.
If Raiders beat the Dolphins,
They aren't.
If they do,
They aren't.
big if.
Let's play hypothetical land right now. We're talking head coaching job where that can go. Billy B though, I am here in the LA weather.
Ooh.
That would be interesting. Pair him up with Herbert.
Yeah.
He's already got a quarterback, which is how he operates.
Yeah.
Would he lose the sweater? Would he go with a T-shirt?
It'd be awesome if you did a tank top, a spaghetti
Like a
tank
floral?
top.
Spaghetti.
All right, Dan, the Giants at the Commanders. The Giants are just god-awful.
They're so bad.
God-awful.
Do the Commanders cover? I guess is the only question.
Yeah.
The Commanders -9.
You mean the passing yards leader? Sam
Howell's been really good. Yeah, all right, so that's actually I was looking at this game last night trying to figure out because my gut reaction is take the Giants and the points because it's a divisional game. Giants, Tommy DeVito, not good, but better than he was to start last week. He was he moved the ball a little bit. Actually, no, he didn't. I don't even know why I said that. I think they punted like 7 times in a row.
Bad play calls on
You were
Thursday.
trying to give him a little bit of credit.
I was trying.
trying.
Literally, I'm
His
just
dad had a
like
good
trying to
clip.
find a
Yeah.
way to
His
be
dad.
like Tommy DeVito. Like, he might be good, but he's not.
Cool pair.
I'll take the Commanders. I think the Commanders, the one thing Sam Howell has done, which you can see his growth and progression, he's still leading the league in sacks. The Giants game they played 4 weeks ago, he got sacked 6 times. Since then, the 3 weeks after, only 7 times total. So he has figured out a way to get rid of the ball quicker, to not stand in there and take all these sacks. You've seen the difference, and I'm going to take the Commanders.
Kyle?
I don't like it.
I'm also taking the Commanders. I'm a huge Eric Bieniemy fan, and to your point, I mean, it's a quarterback-driven league. Sam Howell leading the league in passing yards. He did take a lot of sacks early. A lot of them were on him, not on the offensive line. So
Yep.
the protection has been there. They were top 5 in time to pressure and top 1 in sacks given up. So the quarterback is holding the ball too long. EB's got him getting rid of it. I like this Washington team. They've offloaded some defensive pieces, but I think the guys that they have in that building are playing hard for them right now.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm going Washington. I think when you look at the NFC picture, it's way easier than the AFC slot. They're two games back from the wild card. They have more to play for, and the injury list of the Giants, like, they are truly bleeding out. And it's a big laundry list of guys on the injury report, and guys who are questionable, guys who are this and that. You know how it is when you're in those locker rooms and you're bleeding out and you're not a good football team. There's part of you sometimes that doesn't want to step out there. So I think that's what's
100%.
happening. I think that's what's happening in New York, and I just think, again, I think Washington just has more to play for.
They're just waiting for the season to end at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
They're
Bags are
ready
packed.
for
Bags
the
are packed.
offseason.
For the Giants, they're trying to figure out who's going to be in the building next year. So.
Yeah.
With everybody too.
Yeah.
Planning that
Not
vacation.
just the staff.
All right, Kyle. The Bears and the Lions.
David Montgomery revenge game. Justin Fields is back in practice.
Hey. Hype yourself up down there.
Gripping the football with that thumb. I don't know if you can see my thumb, but I've got some scars here. And if I pull hard enough, that thumb will go down that way. That's what Justin Fields has going on with his thumb. And playing the quarterback position, you've got the football here. And if I get that thing touched at all, it could be game over for Justin Fields. So protecting Justin, they've got a new offensive line situation there. They took Tevin Jenkins from right guard, who was paired with Darnell Wright, the right tackle, and they've been great in the run game. They bring Tevin to left guard now. Nate Davis back in.
They did that to you.
Cody Whitehair out. I like the unit they have there up front. I think they do run the ball well against Detroit, but it comes down to Justin's confidence with the football in his hand, throwing it. I think that'll be the X factor. I do think Detroit wins this game. I think they run the ball at will, and I think it could get ugly for Chicago.
What was it? Did the Bears move you to right tackle for that one season?
So, yeah, I went my first 2 years I was right guard. So I went Pro Bowl, All-Pro, and then we had our right tackle got cut right before the season.
Yeah,
and
it was like 2 weeks before.
I said, I'll play right tackle. I'm an idiot. Man.
Yeah.
I'll play right
love
tackle.
ball.
First game, Julius
What do the
Peppers,
team needs?
2 sacks. I broke 3 fingers. It was the worst.
Yeah.
It was the worst.
And they made
You
you
immediately
switch like
regretted
last
that.
second.
Yes.
All right.
I'll do it.
Whatever the team needs.
That's a team guy.
Here's something about the Bears that I am probably semi-responsible for. Maybe you too, Kyle. The perception of the Bears are they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. They are not.
It's not true.
They are not one of the worst teams in the NFL. They've actually been playing some pretty sneaky good ball, especially on the defense. So here's some stats for you. Ready for these, Will?
I'm ready.
Last 5 weeks, week 5 through 10, Bears defensive ranks. Run D, 1st. Pass D, 19th. Total yards, 6th. Third down percentage, 12th. Explosive play percentage, so that's stopping explosive plays, 1st. Total team defense, EPA, 5th. Their defense has been good. Their defense has turned it around. They got a bunch of guys healthy. I think the Bears are going to keep inside this number. I really do.
You know who else had a really good defense going into a big matchup a few weeks ago? Who? The Seahawks when they played the Ravens. They had the number 1 rush defense.
Yeah.
These stats are awesome, and I agree with you. The Bears have been punching up.
They're better than people. Like, people think Bears, they think Bears, Panthers, Giants. I think the Bears are a little bit better than that. I think they're a little more live than that. So
I think Campbell's unit is that much better than them, though.
yeah, the offensive line of the Lions is so nasty. I'm taking the Bears, though.
To cover the points?
They're playing a little better than you think.
They're playing a little bit, yeah, like those defensive stats. Those are good pulls, by the way.
They're
They're literally going to need all of that on defense because Detroit can beat you any way they want to. Montgomery's back, like
St. Brown.
yeah, Laporta.
Laporta, I love
Safety
Laporta.
net, dude.
I love Laporta.
They're good, man. This is a great team. Dan
Their
Campbell.
defense is not good.
Dan Campbell,
Aiden's
Coach
good.
of the Year.
Aiden is good.
Dan Campbell, Coach of the Year. Gambling Coach of the Year. Detroit is 7-2 against the spread this year. They're also the best team to gamble on since 2021.
The matchup is Aiden Hutchinson against Darnell Wright. It's one of the league's best sack getters, pressure makers against one of the best young right tackles in football. That will be the determining factor. If Justin Fields can stand back there unabated with the football, we could see a comfortable offense.
Also, this is, I mean, Justin Fields.
Just no.
Justin Fields.
Detroit.
Justin Fields has to, this is it. He doesn't have any time left. You know what I mean? He's got 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, how many weeks are left in the season. He's got to do it right now. There's a lot of pressure on him.
And this week he said, I'm not out to prove to anybody. What did you think about that?
Yeah, no, he's out to prove everything.
I was like, yeah, buddy,
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
And that's why we're going Lions.
And when you say that you don't have anything to prove, you know you have everything to prove.
That's fine. Bears
Jerry?
aren't as bad as people think.
How are you feeling about the Bears?
I just think, Justin did everything he could with the organization, just didn't work out. I think it's pretty clear that moving forward, he's not their solution. So I think he knows he's done. No matter how he plays the last 5 games. I think the
He's just playing for somebody else now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's.
But if you're Justin Fields, wouldn't you say, whoever wants me when this thing's said and done, I'm going to prove to you that I'm the guy?
Oh, yeah, he'll be good.
I would have taken the podium and said some shit like that. And I would have
Yeah.
been all right, Atlanta. You know.
Yeah.
Like you're giving a speech for whoever else is listening.
Yeah,
not just
bro.
people in Chicago. Yeah, tough. Okay, Will, the Raiders and the Dolphins. I know we mentioned that a little bit earlier. Who are you rolling with?
Don't do it.
Come now.
Don't do it.
What do you?
Don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot.
Raiders.
Tucker. You're an idiot.
Hang on. Hang on.
The collective
no.
sigh when he said that.
The
air got
Raiders.
sucked
Hey,
out of
here's
the
what I
room.
got for you, BC. The Raiders are basically Old Yeller disguised as a Cinderella story. It feels good for a moment, but the dog dies in the end. And this weekend, they're dying against the Miami Dolphins. You got the Giants. They played the Jets.
Wait, so you're picking the Raiders, though?
I'm picking the Dolphins.
Oh, okay, so you're smart.
Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah. There you go.
Okay, you little, yeah.
I was trying to say Raiders and go into it, but once I said Raiders, I
mean, the
realized
whole
the whole
room
collective. I was
just-
like,
Yeah,
shit.
Will, you ever been to Mexico? You ever been to Mexico, Will?
Yes,
Yeah, a
you
couple
have.
times. Yeah.
You know, you ever
You know.
you ever seen those donkeys that you never see those donkeys they paint like zebras and they're like, take a picture with a zebra, and I'm like, that's a donkey. That's
But
the
you take the
Dolphins.
picture.
That's the Dolphins.
Oh, that's a Dolphin.
Dolphins are a tuna
Okay.
that's just like photoshopped to make.
I
it bigger.
disagree, Kyle. I
They're
disagree.
frauds. I do think that Vegas's high that they've been riding runs out against a more talented football team, but I do not believe in the Dolphins at all.
Wait, so who are you taking?
I'm picking the Dolphins. I do not believe in the Dolphins
So
whatsoever.
you want to
though.
shit on the Dolphins, but pick the Dolphins?
Yeah. He got the Drake haircut.
What makes you think that they're fraudulent? They've lost when they've had to play up to your
Yeah,
point with the Jaguars, but I don't think this is a Dolphins team that's in the category with the Dallas
Kill bad
Cowboys.
teams.
What do you mean? I
What-
think
I
the
just-
Cowboys are better.
No, than the Dolphins? No.
I do.
Chiefs came out after who they play before the Dolphins? It was the Broncos, right?
Yeah.
It was the Broncos. They came out in Germany against the Dolphins, and you could tell like they were making a statement. Those first 15, they were running up on them, but they composed themselves.
Nothing
They held
happened in
them.
the
They
second
held
half.
them nothing in the second half, and it was the first time that you get Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey, that defense. Holland playing with each other for the first time. I think the bye week's going to really help them out. I think the defense is going to come along. And again, this is a real quarterback with a real offense with speed everywhere.
Okay,
I just
so
love to hate on the Dolphins.
yeah,
I can tell.
I have
He said
called the
zebra,
Dolphins frauds.
donkey.
Yeah, no, I've called the Dolphins frauds.
Fake animals.
I think I'm ready to buy back in on the Dolphins. I think this is the week.
Don't tell
man.
Mickey.
All right, so couple things. Raiders, they beat, great story, they beat Tommy DeVito and Zach Wilson. Put it into perspective. They beat Tommy DeVito and Zach Wilson. That's as low can get when it comes to quarterback. Tua is not those two guys. I actually think the Dolphins, and I'll have to see how they play, when they do actually get to play another real team. I think this Dolphins defense is going to start playing well. Because Jalen Ramsey's back. Vic Fangio is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL,
he is.
if not the best.
He is.
His teams take a little bit of time to figure it out. Now he's got all his dudes. Now he's got a lockdown corner that he can rely on.
And a rusher.
And a
Jalen
rusher,
Phillips.
right, exactly. So I might start buying some stock in the Dolphins. This week they're going to kill them, and then we'll have to wait till they play a real team. and I might start buying some stock.
So that means betting on them against a real team, but not like a Super Bowl favorite.
I'll look at their schedule and see when their next big game is.
I think they can get it going. I really do. To me,
They should.
Dallas is going to look pretty until they get to the playoffs because it just happens. They're not a good situational football team. They're not well coached in situations. So I think that's going to show up no matter what when it's real. It's like the Dolphins. Yeah, they've been the Dolphins for however long now, but McDaniels and who they got in that building, I think they start coming along and figuring out because they're not going to fall into that. They're only good in hot weather type.
I do like McDaniel. I feel like he would put us in a position to win games.
The next time the Dolphins play a good team, Christmas Eve against the Cowboys.
And that'll be a great.
Let's make a bet.
That'll be a great one.
Right now?
$100.
That'll be a great
Money
one.
line.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Dane, you know what I love about you?
What?
You're an actual defensive guy.
Yeah, I love
Yes.
defense.
Because he knows and he knows the coordinators.
We talked about it last week when we were on the stream. Someone asked, would you rather have a good defense or offense? Defense, dude, all day. You feel like a man when your team plays defense. You wake up with a little hair on your chest. You be like, let's go fucking play some defense, and we'll punt, then we'll play some more defense.
It's like Roquan Smith. I just think of Roquan when I think of defense.
Yeah.
I love watching defense. I love watching a defensive unit just suffocate.
How about that
offense.
Urlacher defense?
Yeah, just right.
We were joking about.
Maybe this is because I've never had a quarterback to root for, but that's fine. Defense.
But also, again, Spags, Fangio,
These guys
the
are
coordinators,
right.
Some schemes,
Culture.
and I appreciate
It's
that.
also these guys they're failed head coaches, but that's okay because just because you failed as a head coach doesn't mean you're not an incredible defensive coordinator.
Right.
And that's what Vic Fangio and Steve Spagnuolo are. That's their ceiling, and that's a great ceiling to have because they're that good.
Speaking of the Cowboys and the Panthers, Dan, the Panthers plus 10.5. How are we feeling about that?
big spread.
Frank Reich calling the plays again.
Yeah, Frank Reich.
Thomas Brown had 2 weeks.
Someone tweeted me a picture of Frank Reich, his opening press conference, and now he looks like he aged in presidential years. He's tired. This is bad.
Biden.
Your guy, Joey B?
Not my guy.
Yeah, it is your guy. I got the clip to show it.
Not my guy.
Okay.
Fake clip.
Yeah. You want to play the clip?
Is he the one that traded CMC?
Run the clip during the show, Tom. Run the clip.
Yeah. Put the clip in.
Don't do that.
Scranton is a long way from Wall Street. You won't find skyscrapers or big city bankers. Just hard-working people that make this country work. That's where Joe Biden's story starts, in working-class neighborhoods where you could make a good living and pass on a better life to your kids. That's why Joe Biden went into public service to begin with, to make a difference for working families.
You're Joey B guy.
I never mind Joey B.
Oh, put that on a quote card.
I never mind Joey B.
Also, he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
He's got the country going the right direction.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
This message brought to you by
Come on,
Jersey
Dan,
Jerry and
enough.
Joe Biden.
Enough.
I just feel terrible for the Panthers.
I feel bad for the Panthers. I'm going to take the Cowboys. The Cowboys beat up on bad teams.
Easy peasy Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah, same. This is their game.
CeeDee Lamb might go 185.
Yeah. They're just,
Two
they
times.
just
It's going to
beat
be
up
ugly
on
for
bad
the
teams.
Panthers.
Start looking like, oh man, maybe, and then people start getting in that machine, and then
The machine.
they'll play a real team.
All right, Kyle, another double-digit spread. We got the Bucks and the 49ers. 49ers favored by 11.5.
Hey, man, my MVP favorite, Trent Williams, because when he's not on the field, they just suck, is back. And he looked awesome against Jacksonville. He was
If they gave him
he was leading.
that would be awesome.
But it makes sense.
I know, that would be
you want to
so
talk
awesome.
fucking value?
Right.
Okay, Lane Johnson, Philadelphia. Trent Williams, San
Yeah.
Francisco. You take those guys off the roster, there's 6 less wins on the team.
Right.
So I'm taking San Francisco. I don't care who they play. With this guy in the lineup, 71. I love it. Brock Purdy got to continue to try to take care of that football. I don't want any more cross-body throws. I don't care if he does catch it in the back of the end zone. Take care of the football. That's what this team prides itself on. Playing defense, to your point, we're men. We play defense.
Yep.
And taking care of the football and having great schemes with Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Dan?
Kyle Shanahan said that Brock Purdy pass was like the worst decision he's ever seen in his life, and it was a touchdown.
Brutal.
I'm gonna take the Niners here. The Bucks, they don't really do anything great. They stop the run, but the Niners have so many dudes they can beat you every single way. I don't think the Bucks are gonna be able to get pressure without blitzing. Then you blitz. Then you have Deebo Samuel out in space. You got Brandon Ayuk out in space. George Kittle out in space. I'm gonna take the Niners. Also, the big thing with the Niners, those 3 losses they took, everyone wants to put it on Brock Purdy because they saw the interceptions. It was their defense that was the problem. They were getting gashed by the Bengals and the Vikings. Feels like they kind of figured everything out. I'm pretty sure Steve Wilkes went down to the field.
Yeah.
So he left the booth. He went down to the field, fire those guys up. D'Amico was always on the field guy. So I think the Niners kind of figured it out like, hey, we have a lot of dudes on defense. We should not be giving up this type of yardage to these teams. So I think the Niners win and cover.
I heard Bosa say something interesting. He doesn't talk much, right? Nick Bosa, he doesn't open his mouth much. He just gets the quarterback. He was talking about the change in thoughts on the defense with Wilkes, and he was like, there was a time where we could just pretty much rush. And everybody would do their jobs. It wasn't like we were going to scheme teams into losing yards or getting stopped. It was like, I'm a rush end, I'm going to rush, and I'm going to play the run, and we're going to make plays. With Chase Young in there, and last week we saw Steve Wilkes' defense look a lot different. They were just playing vanilla football, and they were saying, we're just better than you.
Right.
We don't have to do sexy stuff like our offense does. And I think that's going to be scary watching the Niners just play vanilla football and beating people.
And Wilkes coming down with that whole energy factor of like when they're coming off the field. Like, you know how it is when you just get that chemistry going and that energy going. And to your point with the vanilla defense, it does speak to that Chase Young acquisition. If you look at the 4-down linemen last week against Jacksonville, they were able to manufacture 20 pressures without having to blitz.
It's crazy.
And when you come out in that game, you open that game with 5D linemen. Like, you're getting creative, but
you're covering.
You're having guys
Yeah.
covering, and you're having these dogs rush you with 4.
Nightmare.
They're going to be tough, man. The Niners. I got the Niners.
You're taking the Niners
Yeah.
as well? Okay, and then the last game, the Seahawks at the Rams. Dan, I will start with you.
Okay, I was the first on this panel to tell you that the Rams stink.
You were. That is
right. I was.
He's telling the truth.
I told you before that game against the Cowboys that they are a bad football team, and we had perception off their first Week 1 win against the Seahawks. I will be the first to tell you I'm buying on the Rams this week.
Wow.
You got to find out where the bottom is, and then you got to hop back in. Listen. If I pull this off, I'm a genius.
I
Because
know.
I told you when they sucked, and they sucked for like 3 weeks in a row, and I bet against them every week. Now we go, hey, everyone's kind of figured out they suck. Maybe they don't suck as bad as we think.
The only reason I'm in a blender right now is I've felt, obviously pretty good about the Seahawks.
But now
But
you're
the way Dan is, because Dan was right. Dan was
right.
He was spot on with the Rams.
Right.
He was spot on with the Rams.
So now he's making you second guess.
And I do not want to be sitting in my living room on Sunday.
Yeah.
Being like,
Next Monday,
this
I'm going to give you the
motherfucker was right
business. Yeah.
I think I got to ride
Go
with
roll
Dan.
with the boys.
Yeah, I got to ride with BC on that.
Kyle, are you going to roll with the
sorry.
guys?
Stafford back for like.
It also just feels like
is Stafford playing for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that okay. We did this last week with Jamel Dean, which I was right. Listen, Lucas is just putting out propaganda. I said if Jamel Dean plays, take the Bucs, and they won by 14 because he played. Stafford has to play for us to take the Rams.
Okay.
That absolutely has to be the case. I'm not betting on Brett Rippon or Carson Wentz. It has to be Stafford.
We record on Thursday, so it is
Yeah.
an important thing for people to remember.
But this is a situation where you look at it and you're like, man, Seahawks -1, like they're so much better than the Rams.
Because they are.
Never that
Which is
easy.
why I'm taking the Seahawks.
Oh,
If Gino
not
can,
overthinking it like I did.
if Gino can take care of the football, this one should be relatively easy. I love.
So what does Vegas
I
know?
love
Yeah.
the young cover corners in Seattle on the outside. I feel like it makes the sledding a bit tougher for what the Rams like to do offensively. And I like the running game for Seattle, so you can be a multi-dimensional offense against that Rams unit. If you want to run it at 99, you can do that with 2 guys on a double team and eliminate the strength of their team.
Seahawks.
No, those are good points, but it is like, what does Vegas know? Why is
Yeah.
it only 1
Why is it
point?
1?
Because it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
And
They don't even have
Rams
windows in Vegas, bro. They don't know what's going on outside.
pumping all the air in there.
And the way Dan was talking about the Rams earlier this year.
But Will, you also know that when we're sitting here next week, if you don't go with Dan and he ends up being right, like you're
Yeah,
just gonna have to hear
that was
about
smart.
it. So
This one I
either
feel,
blame me or be like, yeah,
Yeah.
guess what, you're
this
right.
one I feel
Right.
really good about. Like, if we go down together. It's the
Right.
it's the Cardinals Texans one that I'm going to be like, God.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because this one he has a lot of good points. Like, I'm rocking with him.
So speaking of good points, Dan, what are your bad points this week for 3 bad
Okay,
opinions?
we kind of already talked about it. Yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins off my fraud watch. I'm going to have to put the word out that I think
Tuanon's back.
I think they're going to win this game against the Raiders by 20 plus. I might take alternate line, and I think the Dolphins might. I think this defense is going to start coming along, and it's going to be a different Dolphins team. Because that was my biggest thing with the fraud thing. It wasn't a knock on Tua, that offense. That offense is explosive. It's the fact they couldn't get stops, and when they played the really good teams were able to control the football against them. Yeah, I'm taking Dolphins off fraud watch. I'm going to tweet it right now. He needs
the opinion known. Is it
Good
a
bad opinion. Good bad
Good
opinion.
bad opinion?
Because part of me wants to look at some future stuff with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Okay, Will, do you have a bad opinion?
Like the Dallas game.
My bad opinion is going to be
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
My bad opinion is going to be Taylor Swift's parents and Kelsey's parents in the suite get shown more than the amount of receptions that Travis Kelce.
Oh.
I don't think that's that bad of opinion. I think that's probably pretty accurate.
The over-under on that's probably, 7.5? So are they going to get shown 8?
I feel like
are they going to get shown
they'll
more?
get shown more in the first half than receptions, I would think. That's
For
how
the
much,
whole game? That's what I think it needs. That's what
No, I'm just saying I think that's how much they're going to show them. That's all anybody's talking about. I mean, how many times have you guys seen the video of them kissing at her concert? It's crazy.
Fair.
Yeah.
So maybe
Love
I
is
flip
love.
it. Travis will have more
Love is love.
receptions
Yes.
than the amount of times they show the parents.
No,
on
I think that you were right the first time.
But if that's a good opinion, then I need to flip it to figure out the
okay,
bad
then yes.
side. Yeah.
I mean, right? That's all they're going to talk about is the
Yeah.
families meeting each
I
other.
got a scheme opinion that may be bad.
Okay.
I don't know if this counts. This
Counts. I want to hear it.
So remember we used to play
Ball.
NCAA L1
Yep.
pitch.
Yep.
Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, just run the Georgia Tech offense.
Ooh,
speed option.
triple
Put Stephon Diggs out wide like they used to do with Calvin Johnson.
To me, that
Georgia
might be
Tech.
so far out of the bad opinion category.
Yeah, that's,
Watching an NFL
I
team
can
run the
just see
triple
how many
option.
fumbles that, like, it would just be fumble.
Less
fumble.
interceptions.
Buffalo needs to go to the Georgia Tech
Triple
offense.
option.
Yeah, triple option.
That's a bad opinion.
That's a
You know what,
It's a,
though?
It's a,
did it.
that's
You got the quarterback for it.
It's a dog shit opinion.
It's such a bad opinion, but can you imagine if on Sundays we're sitting there being like, we're going to watch an
Holy
NFL team
shit.
play the triple option?
Oh my God, I
They're going to run the
wish.
triple
That's what you
option?
want, isn't it, BC?
I wish that like an Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State, the teams that get like all the 5-star recruits, 4-star recruits, just one year said, "Fuck it, we're running the triple option." It would
Wishbone.
just dominate everyone. You wouldn't be able to stop it.
was
Because like
like
you
when the
see
Bears-
teams struggling with Army and Navy,
yeah.
and those guys weigh like 200 pounds. Like imagine doing it with some of those dudes.
The guys at Army and
Insane.
Navy fit in Jeeps. The guys at Alabama,
Yeah,
they don't. But
right.
they run the same offense.
Right.
They're just bigger.
It would be awesome. I mean, listen. If Nebraska wants to be great again,
Run the triple option.
why not?
But I do.
Why not?
Big game this weekend.
Yeah, no, you guys are fucked. We're gonna kill you.
No, this is
Yeah.
for all the marbles.
No, Luke Fickle said.
Too much red.
This is for all the marbles. You know that, right?
Yeah, Luke Fickle.
Because Illinois is beating Iowa.
Here's what you got to be worried
and
about.
we will take care
Luke
of Iowa.
Fickle said, "We're gonna find out this week who wants to be here.
So
Badgers are gonna.
That's it.
Badgers are gonna win by.
I love that statement.
Yeah, we'll find out this week who wants
We'll
to be
find out.
So
We'll
when
find
this
out.
re-airs on Sunday morning, this will be one of the
Badgers
really
won.
like- yeah.
The Badgers are rock bottom. This is where they're gonna win this.
Do they have a first
Illinois beats Iowa.
or tackle?
Braylon Allen's not first rounder,
Okay.
but he'll be drafted for sure.
At one point, he looked like he might be.
Yeah,
When he was like
yeah.
17 years old for like
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
Illinois beats Iowa. Nebraska ekes out a win against Wisconsin, and then it all comes down to the border of Iowa and Nebraska next week to go to the Big Ten
want
championship.
to go to that game?
Which game?
Big Ten
Iowa?
championship game?
Didn't realize they shared a border.
I honestly.
Do I want Nebraska?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I
What
don't.
do you mean why?
Because you're going to get the shit kicked out of
No,
you.
I wouldn't want to do that.
So what?
Cooper
Big Ten-
DeJean's hurt.
Big Ten
Will.
runner-ups?
Well, actually, you know what?
No.
So where Nebraska's at? So where we've
Will,
been at?
listen, this is a good lesson for everyone out there because this is like when people are like, "You're a loser. Your team's a loser." Like, dude, I know. Like, I admit that. Like, I'm a loser. Like, I'm rock bottom. You can't hurt me. Will knows what it's like to get blown out in a Big Ten championship game. You can't hurt him. What are they going to get
that's
blown
true.
out
That's a good point.
again?
Okay.
What are they
I mean,
gonna,
I
he's
guess-
already been to the
I was
bottom.
really hoping
Like,
that
I
would
guess-
not
You
go
go
back.
to the
But
bottom.
getting
Will
there-
goes to the bottom. He gets to the bottom, and he's like, "Oh, yep. Here's my phone charger. Here's my like nightstand." He knows the layout of the room at the bottom. He's been there.
But it's like, so
it's home.
do you
He's
wa-
going home. He tucks himself in.
You walk to the bathroom with the lights off.
Yeah,
Not
right.
anything.
He knows the layout.
So you would rather just get there because you know the layout, even though you know you're going to get your door.
At the end of the day, from where we've been at the last decade with Nebraska, if we come out of this season and say we're Big Ten West champions like that,
Well, no,
we're building.
no.
And
No,
yes,
no, no.
Are you talking about going to the Big Ten Championship? Yeah, I know how to get my ass whooped in the Big Ten Championship.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah,
if I get to watch it on
sounds
TV
fun.
or if I get to watch it in person, like that ain't gonna. Hey, boys, trust me, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there.
But
Look,
do
it's
you-
okay. Melvin Gordon put the fucking 300 yards on my face.
No, he
being
James White.
I don't think he got
James
3.
White.
I don't think any of them got 3.
No, yeah, they all got 2.
I think 3 of them got 2.
whatever. He just wants to go. He's okay. He just wants to get there. He's just happy to be there. Okay, Survivor pool picks. So I believe that Kyle was here the first time when we restarted it, right?
Yes.
So the $1,000 is still on the line for you, Kyle.
Yes.
Because
Great.
Dan and Jerry are still going at it. Dan did something last week. So we filmed this on Thursday mornings. He took the Thursday night football game. So by the time
Bears.
this actually aired,
Took the Bears.
that was some real nuts on the table situation. So Dan, I'm going to let you go first since you did that last week.
I will, with my first pick, I will let Jerry go first.
Oh.
Who can't I use, Kayce?
So, Jerry, you have taken the Giants, the Broncos, the Ravens, the Texans, and the Cowboys
Oh, I did take the Cowboys.
last week.
Leaves me in a tough spot.
Yeah, you took the Cowboys last
A
week.
lot of good picks out there, Jerry.
So I have to get ready to make one too.
You don't have to make
Great.
one because
Great.
Yeah.
you're out.
And that was Taylor's fault, I believe.
Yes.
Because we share.
Go Jags.
I'll take the.
Go Jags. Go Commanders. Go Commanders.
Gotta be the commies, bro.
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
Okay.
Go the Dolphins against the Raiders.
Safe pick. You get a chance to go commies against the Giants right now?
I think Tommy DeVito can win that game.
Oh, you're kind of.
He's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I think Tommy DeVito can win that game.
Yeah.
like-
Those are the
Garden State
when
shit.
you say those things, that's when I'm like, no offense, but you smoked a lot of crack.
I was gonna say. Yeah. I was gonna say.
But
That's like the crack brain.
but
Crack brain coming
Jerry,
No,
back.
that's
they're on their
something that you
third
say
line
to
of
them.
offense. Like they're on their third lineman. They just ship guys in. It don't matter who's under center.
Like, could your brain be a little
could-
rewired here that you think?
what about
Tommy
a couple
DeVito-
weeks ago when I was like,
That's
give me
true.
the Giants, give me the Broncos, 2 dogs, and the guys were like, he's dumb.
I mean, you not only took one
How about
bad,
this?
quote, bad team, you took 2.
He took 2. How about this? If Kenny Pickett was under center for the Giants right now, are you taking them over Washington?
100% win.
Okay,
I love it though. All right, I'll go with the Jags.
Jags?
I'll take the Jags.
Okay.
It's tough. That's division.
No, it's not. That's nothing.
Kyle, which
that's
pick do you like better?
Tell him to worry about himself.
Yeah, worry about yourself.
He picked the Giants.
No, he picked the Dolphins.
Dolphins. Yeah.
Hey, why don't you worry about yourself?
He thinks that
I would have
Giants
loved the
could win.
commies pick.
Hey, Jerry, do me a favor. Worry about yourself.
All right.
I would have loved the commies.
Okay, all right. Anything else?
I wish there was more games.
Yeah, I know. We got
You're-
more.
you're just-
The
like,
boys
you
love
need
talking
to
about all the good news is we get to stream together.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yes. And
That
Kyle will
sounds
be-
naughty.
Kyle will be
I know,
back
the way
2
he's
more
like,
times.
yeah.
Kyle will be back 2 more times. We got to figure it out. Maybe December. Maybe wild card weekend.
Yeah, we like having you on. So, well, just really quick though. I mean, I know you're also paying attention to college football. Who's winning the national championship? Throw that one in real quick.
Is Oregon in the round?
Yeah. I know he's not.
Bo Nix. Bo Nix.
Just didn't know if maybe you had a Michigan take.
You know
That's,
what?
You
that's
know what?
next show.
I've been staying up trying to watch these quarterbacks that everybody likes so much.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Bears fan. I'm invested in
Right.
the quarterback
Yep.
position. I stayed up the other night and watched Oregon play USC. And
go.
I had my Sunday morning show at 5:30 call time, and I was up till 1:30 watching Caleb Williams. He's the real deal. Drake May, also the real deal. Different types of players.
Right.
Different types
Drake
of players.
May.
When I say
I
you're
like
college-
Drake May a lot, but it makes me nervous going.
UNC?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
When I say you're a college guy, I know that you're paying attention to who's coming into the NFL. So
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
yeah.
So you can't go wrong with this guy, Caleb Williams. And I don't think you can go wrong with Drake May either. The
Bo
guy,
Nix?
Jaden Daniels, is pretty awesome too.
Oh, he's
Love quarterbacks.
Heisman.
Lots of quarterbacks. All right, so we will be back next week. You guys have a fantastic weekend.